So I promised myself today that I would actually do just a little personal vlog, and then I thought, shit, I haven't really got time. I've got to go and get a train to go and see my friends, and then I've only got wet hair, and I just thought, I'm just going to do it anyway. Got no makeup on, got wet hair, but I really want to do what I said I was going to do, because otherwise I'm starting with a fail, which is never a good way to start. If you've made a commitment, stick to it, and then you can deal with what happens later. So the first book I wanted to review, which is not all I'm going to do on this channel, but pretty much my life has changed since I loved reading. Never used to like reading as a kid. I was pretty much a Topsy and Tim kind of spot the dog kind of kid. Never really interested in reading. But obviously when I started reading about myself, which is the self-obsession and self-help, I was like, oh, okay, I like reading now because it's actually helping me become a better person. So this is one of my favourite books. It's called The Values Factor, and it's by Dr. John Demartini, who is an incredible wizard when it comes to personal development, and pretty much I would say the godfather of what most people are teaching these days. This guy pretty much started it. But what I love about this book most, and why I believe that you could benefit from going to get this, is because he talks about values. Now, most people would think values is things like trust, integrity, honesty, but they're not your values, that's your morals. Your values are actually the things you spend the most time on. So if you think about it in your life, what is it you do the most during a day? Whatever it is you do the most of during a day, that's the thing you value. That's why you're bringing it to the front of your life, and that's why you're actually making time for it. So my values are personal development. That's number one before everything else. I also love to read. That's my second value. My third value is relationships. So I spend a lot of time in relationships to my friends or my family, dealing with other people's issues as well and talking to them. I'm really quite high up in terms of, connections with other people. They really stand out for me in a day. So if anybody needs me at any time, I'll answer the phone pretty much regardless of what I'm doing. So because I value that connection so much, so that's why it's on my list. My other one is singing, although hardly anybody's heard me sing, but I do value it, and I don't do it as much as what I'd like, but it is really high up on my list of values. And then the fifth one is also my financial stability. So I've been working on that for 6 years now, being an entrepreneur for that long. And I am, even though I'm, not rich, I am not rich, definitely not rich at the moment, but I do feel that I'm rich in other areas in my life. I would love to be more financially secure, but I'm just not right now. And that's okay. And, I do owe money out. I am building a business. I am on that entrepreneurial journey where you're like, oh my God, every day you're thinking, where's the money coming from? And it's tough because you can't go and get a normal job. Or you can, but then you're taking away the energy of what it is you're trying to build, and you struggle. People do really struggle on this entrepreneurial journey. It tests every single part of you. So for me, I wanted to focus as much as I could and calm down and try and not stay in that anxiety around money. And I find that reading really helps. So that's why I think reading is probably my value number 2. And this book really just helped me distill down everything, what it is that I'm about, what I love doing. And that's what your personal brand should be about. Whatever your top values are, he gives you 13 questions, and he basically has them in a particular order. You answer the questions and you end up with your 5 top values. And people are quite surprised about their values. I had a client that was working with me one day, and we did his values, and I said, what do you think you value? He said, oh, my girlfriend. I said, okay, cool. We went on and did his 13 questions, and he didn't answer his girlfriend once on any of those questions. She didn't come up at all. So by the end of it, I said, you do realise your girlfriend's not on your top values? And he's like, oh my God. So it's not that he didn't like her. It's just that what he was actually doing was not putting her in anywhere in his life in terms of top values. And it can be quite shocking. So I highly recommend it. And once you've done your 5 values, the rest of the book is about how you actually bring those 5 values into a career, into a life path. Mine really have helped me shape what it is I want to do. And I'm all about personal development. I've got a business, I've got a radio station called I Am Sound Academy, which is all about dance, music and wellness radio. And then I'm bringing in my personal brand, which is me helping people understand who they are, because I've been doing this for 10 years and I really feel like my journey has taken me on the most random way, and so many things have gone wrong, shall we say, but they actually turned out right. They taught me a lot of things. So my biggest thing is personal responsibility, and that comes within personal development. So discipline, commitment, what you're avoiding, what are your boundaries, which I'm going to actually bring into this YouTube channel, because this is all about being human. It's not about, you know, what you look like, what you're wearing. It's not about the family you come from. It's not about your gender. It's not about your skin color. It's not about anything. It's actually about, before you have any identity or any labels that we give ourselves, it's actually about who are you inside. So it's the north, south, east, west are the 4 directions that we've got. And this is about taking the 5th direction, which is going inwards. So when you can take the 5th direction and you're willing to look at things like this book and a number of other books, which I'll be talking about on the channel, you get to figure out kind of who you are on the inside before you start putting yourself out into the world. And it is a tough journey. Many call it the spiritual path, personal development journey, self-help journey, whatever it is you want to call it, in order to improve your life and to actually wake up feeling happier. This is what this channel is about. Basically getting you to be as happy as you can. So I actually do need to go, because this is me just committing to myself and making sure that I do this video. And I'm going to go and get on the train, because I'm going to go and see my friends Charles and Flo. And yeah, I just thought, what better way than to start with the probably one of the top 3 biggest books I could possibly say I've ever read, because it helps you figure out so much more than your values. So I highly recommend that you go and get it. I'm not being paid, obviously, because I'm on like video number 2 to say this. I just highly recommend that you read this. And I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time.